Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, let me introduce myself. My name is Putrian Nazma with NIM 1222040145. And today I would like to present the topics that have been assigned to fulfill my midterm assignment in global linguistics subject. I will explain them simply and clearly based on what I have learned and discussed in the class. Let's get started. So, for the group 1, it's about the role of global English in ELT. The first question, what are the benefits of teaching global English in ELT? Teaching global English helps students communicate with people from different countries, not just native speakers. It focuses on being clear and understandable rather than perfect. So, for example, an Indonesian speaking with a Brazilian in English can still understand each other, even if the grammar isn't perfect. So, the second is, what is global English and how does it differ from traditional English language teaching approaches? Global English refers to the way English is used worldwide by people from many different countries and cultures. It is not tied to just one correct version like British or American English, but includes many varieties and way of speaking English based on local needs. The difference from traditional English teaching is traditional teaching often focus on native speaker models like teaching British or American English as the standard. So global English teaching accepts that English is an international tool, so being understandable to people from different backgrounds is more important than sounding like a native speaker. So move to the group 2. It's about history of English. The first question is, what are the main influence on the development of the English language? Now, English developed through contact with many other languages over history. It started with Old English, influenced by Germanic tribes like the Angles and Saxons. Later, the Norman invention brought many French words into English. Latin also influenced English through the crutch and education. For example, legal terms like court and justice come from French. This influence made English vocabulary very rich and flexible. So the second question is, how has English continued to evolve the modern era? Now, in the modern era, English keeps changing because of the technology and media and international communication. New words are created almost every year. For example, the word blog didn't exist before the internet era. So, the globalization brings new expression from other cultures in English. English today is not just British or American, it is shaped by the world. So let's move to the group 3. The title is Language Change and Variation. For the first question is, how has English continued to evolve in the modern era? English evolved very quickly because of social change, technology, and yet culture. Social media create new ways of speaking and writing. Words like viral, influence, even ghosting come from online life. Also, English pronunciation and grammar can change slightly depending on popular trends, music, and migration. So the second question is, what is the differences between language change and language variation? Language change happens over time, like Old English becoming Modern English. Language variation means differences in how people speak English today, like British English versus American English. So the group 4, it's about language change and variation. The first question is, what are the benefits of English being a global language? English as a global language makes it easier. English being a global language make it easier for people from different countries to share ideas, do business, study abroad, and work together. And international companies, scientists, research, and even international sport events often use English. It creates more opportunities for people who can communicate well in English. So the second question is, what are some challenges associated with English as a global language? One challenge is inequality. Some people have better access to learn English than others, which can create unfair advantages in jobs or educations. So the group 5. So let's move to the group 5. It's about variation in native English. The first question is, what is the differences between a dialect and a language? A dialect is a form of a language spoken in a specific era, like the Yorkshire dialect in England. A language also is a bigger. It's like English itself. So the second question is, how do accent and pronunciation vary across native English varieties? Accents change depending on where people live. For example, Australians say mate differently from American. The British people often pronounce the R sound more softly. Finally, the group 6, it's the last group. It's about the new Englishes. The first question is, what are some examples of new English? New Englishes are forms of English developed in former colonies and other places outside Britain and America. Examples include Singapore English or Singlish, Indian English, and Nigerian English. This English mix local expression, grammar, and communication with standard English. So the last question is, what role do New English play in international communication? The English show that English is no longer owned by native speakers alone. They reflect local culture and identities. In international communication, they help make English more adaptable and inclusive. For example, in international business meetings, people from India, Singapore, and Kenya can communicate effectively in their own English style without needing to sound American or British. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you very much for listening, patience, and for your attention. I hope my explanation can give you some new insight about the role of English in the world and its variation. So, thank you for watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.